welcome to Booze Cruise Reviews. Today we are going to do a movie review. What did we just see, Sarah?
Well, today we went and saw Conjuring 2.
Yes, and I'm going to start off. I was a big fan of the first one. I really enjoyed it.
It's a lot of fun.
It was one of my favorite movies. What was it, last year? 2 years ago?
2013.
Yeah, 2013 was one of my favorite movies back then.
It's a good horror movie, which is
Yeah.
nice.
And I was really excited to see this one. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what we liked first, and then maybe some things we didn't. And just a warning, I think we will talk some spoilers, so if you haven't seen
There might be a couple, yeah. I'll try to avoid them, but there might be a couple of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Alright. Well, I'm going to talk about them, so.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, let's start. What did you like?
Well, honestly, I did like it. It was a good storyline again. I also liked that it was, it's still a supernatural horror movie, but for me it really reminded me of like the good kind of older horror movies. Not a lot about the gore. I'm actually not a gory horror movie fan.
More about
I
the
like the
suspense, the tension.
And as much as you see them, all of the old classic horror tropes, I actually like that. I kind of like to watch the movie and try to be like, yeah, that's what they're using. Which I liked. The acting was actually really good. The girl that played Janet, I really liked her.
Yeah, she was really good.
She
the
was
little
really
girl.
good. It was actually the whole flow, the interaction between all the characters actually was really good, which I liked. Not as good for me as the original Conjuring. I liked that storyline a little better, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it. The little girl was really good. They gave you a family and they made you care about them, just like the first one. They were really good with the characters. You really worried about the girl. They built up really good tension. I mean, there were scenes that I wanted to end, and I mean that in a good way. I was just so uncomfortable. I was like, oh, why are they making me feel like this? So I was really happy about that.
They extrapolated more on the Warrens as well. You got to see more of them. Yeah. It was actually kind of interesting. The first 2 acts, it felt like, were kind of more about getting to know them better. You're still going back and forth between like the other storylines, but you get to know them a little bit better. And
I really enjoyed it. Especially the first 2 acts of the movie were really solid. I really liked it. It was a pretty good movie. I think he leaned a little more towards the horror end in this one than the first one. The first one was more like, yes, it was a horror movie, but it was also, a drama. It was about the family. This one definitely leaned more into the horror.
Yeah, definitely. It started off just like that, yeah. Like, started off a horror, yeah.
But yeah, moving into some of the negatives, like I said, the first 2 acts of the movie I really enjoyed. The third act kind of falls apart for me. You spend the whole movie with this ghost, and they're trying to figure out, how to get rid of it, and they figure out it's an old man, and all this, and then at the end of the movie, and it's a spoiler, but they're just like, oh yeah, it's this demon controlling the ghost. Oh, I need to know the name. Hey, I remember the name. I saw it in a dream. Okay, movie's done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, okay. And it's a long movie.
So by the time you get to the point, you're like, okay, we knew that. How come it took you guys this long?
Yeah, it's a long movie, and you start to feel the length, and then it finishes it up, and you're done.
Yeah. For me, it was actually more of a technical aspect. They did use CGI to create one of the characters.
Yeah.
It was not the best CGI. Actually, when I watched it and then they brought the character on screen, I'm like, that just completely took me out of the movie, because it's like, it looks like CGI from like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That part took me out. I wish they'd done more.
When the CGI was used in the shadows and it wasn't the focus of the scene, kind of like in the background, it worked really well.
Yeah.
But when they do those close-up shots, it took me right out of the movie.
And it took me like another few minutes to get back into it. And by that point, the scary scene's already over, and I'm like,
yeah. But overall, again, the third act kind of falls apart for me, but I did like the movie.
It had a good build-up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The first 2 acts, there's so much tension. They build it up great.
Definitely.
And even the third act, it's much shorter than the first two acts.
They wrap it up very quickly.
Yeah.
Once it gets to that act, they wrap it up very quickly.
But it doesn't ruin the movie, and it's not bad. It just, it could have been better. It's not nearly as good as the first movie, but
It's still a good.
it's still a good movie. And sequels, they come out and they're never as good usually, but
Most of this, they got me to jump a few times, which I liked.
yeah, they had some good jump scares.
It takes a lot to get me to jump in any sort of horror movie, and I'm like, oh, they get me to do it a couple of times, which I like. I actually watch horror movies to try and see if someone's
Yeah, and I think they did the jump scares a little bit better because where you think they're gonna come up, they don't
Didn't.
necessarily come up, and they surprise you a little bit.
Yeah, which I like. I like the surprises.
But overall, out of 5, what would you rate the movie?
I would have given the original Conjuring about a 4.5.
That's about what I would have given it, yeah.
So this one, I'm probably going to give maybe a 3.75 or 4.
I was going to say a 3.9, just under 4.
As I said, 3.75
Yeah.
to 4. There's a range.
Yeah, it was a good movie, definitely worth checking out. And don't get me wrong,
I loved it. I want to go back and see it again, to be honest.
For the slate of horror movies out there, it's still one of the better ones, much
Like I said,
better ones.
the thing I like about them, it's not the whole gore fest. It's literally all suspense.
Yeah,
and I think that's actually more terrifying. The mental aspect of it is more terrifying.
Yeah, so if you're into horror, definitely go check it out. It's better than almost every horror movie out there. Not as great as the first one, still a solid movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've seen it, let us know. Tell us what you think. Comment, subscribe.
Tell us your favorite horror movies and why you like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done.
See you guys next time.
See ya.